Hello, welcome to another episode of Generally Speaking. Let's get this ball rolling. Okay, first off, what's at the top of my little list of things to talk about? Trump is subpoenaing, that's not a hard word to say, Arizona voting records. Another attempt at trying to screw with the upcoming midterms and then later down the road, the 2028. Who knows what he's going to do with these? More looking for reasons to say there was fraud and claim fraud when the elections come due, so he can just mess with everything. All right, Israel drops charges. Said dropping charges against who? Some IDF soldiers that were caught on video raping a Palestinian girl. Yes, they were caught. The camera showed these guys bringing the girl from the detention center, bringing her to an isolated area, and they all blocked it with their shields so we couldn't see what was going on, and they raped this girl, and they just let them all go. In fact, they were all praised as heroes of the state. That's the evilness of the Israeli state. Oil production's been interrupted on an unheard of scale. We all know that. The Strait of Hormuz is blocking oil coming through, but not just oil, actually. They're just blocking American ships, whatever they're carrying. And, of course, oil is a big thing, and that's going to affect anything that's got gasoline in its supply chain, which pretty much accounts for everything because everything gets transported on a truck, and the trucks will pay more, and they'll pass the charges on to everybody buying the products, so that'll go up. And just to mention, as I said, they're stopping American ships, whatever they're carrying. And one of the other things they carry besides oil is fertilizer. And so this is the planting season now, and a lot of farmers are going to come up short with the fertilizer. They might not be able to plant the crops they ordinarily would plant. They'll have to plant something else that can do with less fertilizer. And so this is going to impact us with the oil pushing prices up, and now farmers having to change their planting plans, maybe cutting back altogether, switching to other crops. This is going to affect things. It'll be down the road. Won't be right up front in our face, but it'll come down in the road. That's one of those examples of things that happen now have an impact later, and that even when they get fixed, the fix doesn't, get recognized and felt until later. So coming down the road, more prices, more high prices. All right, on a positive note for the Democratic side, in the terms of Democrats flipping seats from a Republican over to a Democrat, there was number 28 for this year of Trump, for the Trump regime being in office. 28 Dems have flipped seats. This one was in the New Hampshire state legislature. And another one in Boca Raton, number 29. The mayor of Boca Raton is a Democrat mayor now. This follows along the same lines that happened in Miami, a Miami mayor. They didn't have a Democrat for some 30 years, and now they do. And Boca Raton just followed suit. By the way, if you followed me this long, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, hit the notify bell so you see me again, and I hope you do. So we got what? Aileen Cannon has been shot down by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in her monkeying around with the Jack Smith investigation into Trump trying to steal the 2020 election. She tried to say these documents can never be shown, and she was, talking about documents that she had no control over. Now, there is a mechanism for people that have no control over something in order to gain control. It's one of those things that can only be flipped and used in extremely rare, well-defined circumstances, which she did not at all meet. And her doing that had a suit filed and brought to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals to overrule her, and they did. All right, let's talk about data centers. Data centers are big in the news. They're huge. They drink up water like nobody's business, and they make everyone's electricity prices go through the roof. So this one person was commenting about a study he did on, what happens if I do a query on Grok or whatever, Chat GPT, how much electricity gets used, and he was saying this comes to like about as much as a 60-watt light bulb, which I thought was interesting in one sense. And said a 60-watt light bulb stays on for a certain amount of time, whereas a query happens, boom, and it's done. So, you know, you can't really equate the two. But the point was, he was saying, there's really not a lot of electricity demand. Why would the demand go up? Why would your prices go up? Where does this all come from? And he points out it comes from the military. The military's using these data centers, you know, to plan what? Oh, military stuff, whatever that is. So why would all these data centers be going up serving the military? Why not? Money, contracts, you know, billions of dollars that, you know, get stuffed in people's pockets. You know, that's it's $5 hammer, it ends up costing 5,000. So, you know, now a circuit board that costs 20 cents costs $2,000. And it's big profit. So these data centers go up, and not to anyone's benefit, except, you know, the government somehow in some way, and the people who build them, they just make a lot of money. That's all it is to them. Use local people losing the water supply, who cares? Money being charged, your electricity bill going up, who cares? You know, pollution in the air, who cares, right? I'm making money. So there you go for that. This story came from Midas Touch. I love these guys. They don't always get the Ukraine war very correctly, but they do great work on everything nationally. The UK, Germany, and France have been speaking with their Iranian counterparts, seeking a path out of the Iran war and seeking a new relationship that excludes the United States. The United States is not somebody that Europe really feels so warm and cuddly about anymore. At any rate, Iran isn't looking into any deals at the moment. They've been punched, and they're tired of being punched, and they're punching back, and they're not going to stop until they feel like they've actually knocked it out of their U.S. and Israeli opponents. All right, on the Midas Touch Network, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, great tourist spots in the desert. I mean, these places are beautiful. You know, when you've got oil, Arab oil money, you can do so many beautiful things with your city. Expensive as heck, kind of like Hawaii in that sense, except besides the expense of Hawaii, which you get palm trees and, you know, nice thatched huts looking places you can rent on the beach. Dubai, they've got the towering skyscrapers. They've got the beautiful glistening chrome and modernized, super futuristic place. But no more. They've been bombed to heck. Airports bombed to heck. Threats of bombs. No more tourism. The money they make out of that is just going bye-bye. I don't know. Does it matter? They're a big oil place, right? I don't know if Abu Dhabi, if United Arab Emirates is a big oil place. I think everything over there is oil. Step out in the middle of the desert, you step in oil. But at any rate, tourism won't be a part of that anymore. That's just gone. All right, the Trump administration claimed earlier this month that U.S. has a virtually unlimited munitions stockpile. But that's just another instance of his dream talking. Him thinking, I can just say it, and that makes it so. No, we don't have an unlimited munitions stockpile. We sent like half of it already to Ukraine, and then we sent the other half to Israel. They've depleted most of it. According to the stories I read, you know, it takes a long time to build a lot of the equipment. Some of it is built in the slowest, pokey way possible, just so the arms manufacturers can milk it for more money than it's worth, rather than being more efficient and streamlined and getting it done quicker. You know, let's do the slow walk. And so that's what we've got now. We can't really reproduce the supply that we're losing all that quickly. All right, Australia, Japan, and Germany, they're not going to send ships to help open up the Straits of Hormuz. Number one, it's just a suicide mission. Iran's got missiles that just go right into that spot. You know, easy peasy. Go in there. It's just a suicide mission. Trump gets upset. Why won't you go on a suicide mission? How dare you? All right, so this is from iHip News, I hate it. Podcast news. The FCC chair, Brendan Carr, is threatening mainstream media if they don't report favorably about the admin. Look at that. You know, it's bad enough we already have Fox that voluntarily just distorts everything in favor of the administration. But now the administration is starting to try and tell the so-called lefty medias that they have to say things positively or get investigated. Maybe lose your license. So yeah, state-controlled media. That's what Trump's looking for. You is Netanyahu dead? That's the popular thing going these days. Hasn't been seen here, hasn't been seen there, and we get videos of him drinking in a coffee shop. You know, laughing, talking with the people there. And you get everyone claiming it's AI. Look, here's a section where you see his hand. He has 6 fingers. And someone said, oh, it's just a visual glitch. You know, when you just happen to look from a certain angle, you're just seeing the palm of his hand, the edge of his hand. It looks like a 6th finger, but it's not. So anyway, the funny part about this, there were people who were producing some other AI videos, and that fella that was killed in Iran, the head of the country, the Ayatollah, there's a coffee shop, same place, same station, and in walks the Ayatollah drinking the coffee. And then Kim Il-jung, whatever the guy's name from South Korea, comes walking in, drinking the coffee. You know, it's just to show you can make an AI video about anything, and which is horrible. Because soon they'll be saying things that totally didn't happen, that will be justifications for war, violence, well, what have you, and no regulation. The Congress passed a law not too long ago that AI just cannot be regulated by any states for the next 10 years. How could they pass such a, what is the idea with that? And then telling the states that they can't do it? What happened to state-federal separation? But you know, this is crazy. I was thinking, you know how that happened? I think AI influenced that. AI doesn't want itself to be regulated. So they did that. They inserted themselves into it. All right, so Rachel Maddow, that spokesperson for the liberals, right? Someone was pointing out how she can't say the word Israel. That doesn't happen. She was doing a segment about who's attacking Iran exactly. Who gains, this is an expression, who gains, something to gain, who gains from attacking Iran, right? Who gets the most out of it? And she was talking about the Gulf states, this, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatari, them, not one mention of Israel. Like Israel, oh, what would they have to gain? Why would Israel want to attack Iran? So, I mean, there you go. Somebody's controlling her, someone's pulling her strings. All right. An EU, European Union representative, has said that the U.S. is unpredictable and not rational. And that's just the way you have to approach the United States. Unpredictable and not rational. I couldn't agree with them more. A Trump rep was saying that this war won't significantly affect the economy. You know, rest happy. I mean, beyond hurting consumers. Consumers will get hurt. But that's the least of our concern right now, because when have we ever concerned about consumers? We only care about billionaires. Yeah, that's right. So he just says it right out. That's the least of our concerns. California passed a law to mandate that all electronics with any hint of an operating system, like your, refrigerator connected to the internet, or your TV, certainly Alexa or Siri, that it records the age group of the operator. That this is going to have to know something about you, and it's going to have to report it to any apps that are on there, any apps that communicate with it. It's going to have to tell information about you, and then of course, keep passing it on to the government so they can keep track on everything you do. It's like a spyware growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh yeah, and on your phone, definitely on your phone. If you don't have a statement somewhere saying I am within this age category, like 13 to 15, 16 to 22, 22 and over, you have to acknowledge this somehow. How do you do it? You have to photo scan your ID. I mean, how are you going to do that on your refrigerator, on your Siri, on your Alexa, on your TV screen? And someone was pointing out the kind of craziness, the unthinking of this. Data centers or big places that answer your calls, where there are servers handling all your information. They don't have any kind of scanning place, scan an ID. They don't have any keyboard. Nobody talks to them. And how is each one of these things going to have something? It's totally unthought. I don't know who's thinking about it. Oh yeah, and the idea about this is to protect kids. This is what the subtle, listen, we're just protecting kids and make sure they don't end up on bad sites. And no, it's not that at all. It's much more insidious, which so much of the government stuff often is. Well, there you go. I hope you liked it, subscribed, and notified. Should have thrown in a few more of them on the way. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you again. Take care.